Hello, everyone.
I love it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Claude and the Bansta. I hope everyone well in the comments. This is our Arsenal Talk show, and we will be taking questions from everyone in the chat room just after we've talked about a few little things that we've got lined up. So, everyone, keep your questions and ready until we tell you, and we'll go from there. Glad to see everyone in the chat. All our regulars, Melina, Doug, Yaz, CG, Georgie One Foot, Chadwick Moffat, Franklin Goodwin, and one Arsenal winger. Loads of people in the chat. Really good
Alex
to see.
Wilden.
Alex Wilden, yep. Jake,
Alison.
nice to see you all, Liam, and you, Liam, mate. Hope you're well. We've got Claude with us tonight. How you doing, Claude? You holding up, mate?
I'm all right. I've got a bit of a double shift tonight. I'll be leaving you about early because I've got to go on AFTV tonight. So a bit of a double shift for me.
So what time are you going live on AFTV with Robbie, Claude?
8 o'clock tonight on AFTV.
So Claude might jump off just a little bit earlier. Me and Diesel will carry on still, but you can either watch us or go and watch Claude. We've also got our fellow Bansta. Diesel, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, all good, thanks, Tel. Claude, love you both. Hello to everyone in the chat. I don't know about you guys, this heat is doing my head in. As you know, boys, I'm more of a winter man. I've got my tan. I don't need the sun. I'm happy. I don't need it. So yeah, that's all I can say really. I'm staying indoors. I was out in the garden, right? Literally, I lasted about 3 or 4 minutes. So I had to come straight back in. It's too much. Just can't deal with it.
Oh, I love the
Other than that, I'm fine.
I'm a sun worshipper. Chadwick Moffat wants to know if you got your wine ready for Robbie, Claude.
No, I'm going on a dry one for a few days, mate. Too much to drink. So now I'm a bit on a dry one. Orange juice tonight.
Oh, well, Liam said, big up Melina, 400 subs. You was only on 100 the other day. Well done, Melina. Well done. 400 is a great achievement. If everyone don't know about it, go over to YouTube, onto Miss Melina's YouTube channel, and everyone subscribe. She's a great pianist. Does a bit of bass on there, and she also does a great job for us on this channel by being a moderator. So everyone go and give her a follow.
Well done. Funky cold Melina.
Right. Claude, you got something up first, and you want us to?
I'll just start off with this latest one. I don't. 1 minute. Let me get this up for a minute. 1 minute. Hold on. Let me get that up. Start that off a minute.
While Claude's doing that, we've got some announcements to make in the show, so watch out for them. A big one for Saturday, so everyone watch out for that one.
And I don't know if you can see the screen, boys. Everyone.
Yeah.
It's Arsenal on now with a swap deal for La Liga wing wizard, the player Arteta needs. Yeah, I don't know why we need another winger, but anyway. Well, they're looking for Lacazette and Thomas Lemar. You remember this guy from a few years ago when I think Arsenal tried to get him on for 90 million. You remember?
Yeah.
Quoted £90 million, and he ended up, I think, and we didn't go through with the deal. It was trying to get the deal through at the last minute, whether it was true or not. But anyway, well, it's been. I don't know what you boys think of this. It's been mentioned that he could be swapping for Alexander Lacazette. Of course, as we know, he's had a few problems at the moment, and I don't know why we do. If anything, I thought we'd be swapping with would be Thomas Partey, but we've got this come up. I don't know what you think of it, boys.
Well, Diesel, do you want to go first, mate?
Do you know what? Right, this is what really annoys me about Arsenal. Yeah, if it's just a link, right? However, if it is true, right? If it is true, then it's a player they want rather than need. I keep saying it, right? We need to start building from the back. Yeah, right. That should be our priority, right? Defense and midfield, right? In my opinion, guys, I think we're okay for forward players, right? We've got Saka, because I think Lamar plays on the left. We've got Saka there. We've got Martinelli there. As much as I don't want him to play there, if Aubameyang had to play there, he can. So, in my opinion, we've got 3 players who are willing and able to play in that position. So, why do we need another one? Right? Focus on the defence and the midfield, and let's get back to winning ways. Simple as that. Go on, Till.
We've got Glenn in the house. Glenn says, "Oh, sure. When I am on, you guys have women beating the shit out of each other. Now you talk football." Glenn, if you want to come on, let us know. We'll send you the link, mate. We'll send you the link.
The reason I'm scared of his message. That's why I don't send him a link. I'm scared he gives an answer.
Yeah, for me, I mean, Lamar, I mean, he sold 2-3 years ago for me. I'm going to be honest. You know, I don't want to. I think Lacazette is a much more better plan than Lamar at the moment. I wouldn't go for a straight swap. If we're going to buy him, I wouldn't pay no more than 20 million for him. But for me, yeah, I would want to do a straight swap for Partey. So that for me, I can't see that happening. What about yourself, Claude?
No, but this deal was a few years ago was mentioned, and now he's been going from another. Where did he go from? Was it Monaco? Wasn't it? Was it Monaco?
Yeah.
Then he went around. Yeah. It's a player they don't really want, so they'll offload it to us. I know. I'm sorry, and we don't need that. We've got wide players. We've got Saka. We've got Pepe. We've got all these players. We've got Reece Nelson. Why are we going after this guy? If we're going to do a swap, if they want to do a swap, give us Thomas Partey. Give us Thomas Partey. Let's be ruthless in the market.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Give us the players we want. You want our best. You want one of our best players. Now you give us one of your best players. You know, that's how I look at it. Don't Mick. You know what I'm saying?
I totally agree with you, Claude. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like you, both of you boys have just said, and everyone in the comments, really, we don't need another winner. We've got winners. You know what I mean? We don't need that. We need a central midfielder, defensive central midfielder, and we need a centre back. Now, they're the 2 positions that we need. If we can go out and swap Lacazette for either Partey or another central defender that we need in part exchange for that, I'm all for that. But anything less than that, for me, we keep Lacazette or we send him for the 40-50 million that we paid for him. We've got a super chat here from Chadwick Moffat. He's put, Claude, who come up the Arsenal mascot Gunnosaurus? Who come up the Arsenal Gunnosaurus? When I went to the Southampton game, I saw him and was like, what the fuck? Most out of the place mascot.
I know. By the way,
I'm glad he asked Claude that.
I'll let you into a secret. I actually know Gunnosaurus personally. He's a lovely guy. I know him quite well, but I'm not allowed to reveal who he is. But I do know him well.
It ain't Ty. That's why we've not heard from him. It ain't Ty, is it? Is that why we've not heard from him? Is it? It ain't Ty.
No. No, it's not Ty. No, it's not.
Am I the only one who's sitting here thinking all this time Claude knows Gunnosaurus and he's not got him on this channel? What's going on?
No, he won't come on here.
What, he won't come on in his costume?
He don't. You know, they're very secret. Even there are even certain players. He does players' parties and things like that, and even the players don't even know who he is. So it's very secretive.
Yeah.
So,
I agree with
not
you.
All the players.
I agree with BH there. I think he'd do a better job.
Oh yeah.
What?
Gunnosaurus is better than Shaka.
Even Ty would do a better job than Gunnosaurus. Anyway.
Right, let's go on to this one then. I want to talk about. Let's get it up. I want to talk about the EFL talks, League One. Can you see that, boys? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sky Bet League One.
Relegation.
Yeah, Sky Bet League One is set to decide on unweighted points per game, while Stevenage are set to be relegated from League Two after the latest EFL board meeting. There has been disagreement between the League One clubs over how to continue the campaign, and any decisions to curtain the season will only take place if the clubs vote in favour of doing so. League Two has already voted to end their season early, pending approval from the EFL and the FA. What's your thoughts on this, boys?
Slowly but surely, they're all coming to the end, aren't they? I think the only ones that will remain maybe are the Championship and the Premier League. It could even be just the Premier League. No, but I don't think they can do that. So I think it'll be just the top two leagues will just stay. I think, and maybe the other two will just cancel their leagues. That's what I think that will happen.
Yeah. What about you, Diesel?
Yeah, do you know what? I think we touched on this in the previous podcast of ours, and I'm forever banging on about the lower leagues because, to put it quite bluntly, I feel sorry for the clubs down there. You know, I think there's a lot of them who just won't get through it, and you know they won't survive. What I don't like is the fact that, and I think Claude's right. I can see. It wouldn't surprise me if the Premier League and the Championship eventually start, but then the other divisions don't. And I think it's wrong. You know, I bang on about equality all the time, and I think the FA or whoever it is, it's up to them. They have a responsibility. I think if one league cracks on, all the others have to crack on. You know, it can't be one okay for one and not for the other. I think it's wrong. I think it's disgusting. And I think those guys down there, because obviously the money's not as great, you know, in the lower leagues. And once again, we mention that word money because that's all it's about. If we're honest, money seems to win over everything. We're all banging on about the Premier League, and the newspapers are constantly they constantly have the content of the Premier League and talking about the Premier League, this Premier League, that. No one's really talking about those lower league clubs. And if I'm honest, I feel sorry for them, but they haven't got a leg to stand on. If I'm honest,
yeah,
it's wrong. It's wrong.
No, I mean, look, at the end of the day, as you said, we touched on it in the last podcast, Diesel. You know, what I mean, it's very damaging, no matter which way we look at it, for clubs, supporters, and players. You know what I mean? And even down to testing and things like that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, look, I mean, they done tests, didn't they, in the Premiership the weekend or a couple of days ago, and 6 players already come back positive.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, but that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, Terry, because if you look at it, that's 6 out of everyone involved in the Premier League, isn't it? The players, the officials, and everyone. Only about 6 in total. And they've been told to stay in quarantine.
Yeah, my only problem with that, Claude, is that I've got a funny feeling that the 6 players, whoever they are, whatever team they're from, the clubs will come out and deny that they was ever at the training ground, and they've always been at home, and they haven't seen anyone to basically affect any of these people. Because obviously, if they come out and say, and they're from 6 different teams, that's 6 teams there that's got to go in quarantine for 2 weeks. So, you know, that's my only problem with that at the moment. But going back to League One and that, you know, it's going to be hard times for these clubs because it's around about this time now that lower league, well, not just lower league clubs, but every other team will be putting out their prices for the season tickets for the next season. Teams can't do that at the moment. So how are these clubs going to survive, you know, without knowing their financial gains of next season, because we don't even know when it's going to start. We don't even know if fans are going to be allowed back. So, you know, these lower league teams are going to be in the right state, unfortunately. So I think it's right that these League One, well, League Two have already come out and said what's going to happen. I think all the other leagues need to come out and do the same thing. Get it over and done with. Tell us one way or another, and let's get it over with. But you know, I just can't see how we look. I mean, let's leave that for a second and go on to the next topic, which is more or less the same thing. And this is another problem what we've got to deal with. I mean, all these people keep saying, yeah, we want football back, players want to come back and all this, you know, and then you've got players that are coming out and actually telling us that that's wrong. I don't know if is that on the screen at the moment, boys, yeah? You got Watford captain Troy Deeney says he will not return to training because he fears for his family's health amid the coronavirus pandemic. Premier League teams are starting non-contact training from Tuesday. Deeney does not want to put his baby, who has had breathing difficulties, in more danger and has raised concern over the increased risk to Black, Asian and minority ethnic players. So, I mean, if he's coming out and saying that, I know that his child is got, you know, underlying problems and things like that. But, you know, he's more or less stated it there that, you know, he fears for all, you know, foreign or black.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So where does that?
I can understand that. I can understand. And I think what they've got to do is with players that don't want to play, they just don't play. They don't want to be there. They've got the choice. I think they should have the choice whether they take part or not, and it's down to them. Because at the end of the day, that's the, you know, they've got families to think about, and it's not ideal. But I mean, but those six players will not be allowed in anyway for a few weeks. They won't be allowed back, so they won't be affecting anyone else. So, but it's interesting that only six players, only six people out of the whole. That's I think that's the Premier League player, all the players, managers, coaches, and all that. Only six people have been. So it's not as yeah, well, I think we've got to see how it goes in Germany. In Germany at the moment, we don't know. It's hard to say. After a couple of weeks, if there's any reactions from the German games, then we may have to think about it again. But I don't know. It's a hard one. Mate. It's a hard one. It's a balance. It's a balance between clubs going out of business and people's lives. You know what I'm saying? It's a balance.
Yeah. What about you, Diesel? Oh, apparently, Hold Up Jake said it's not just players; it's six in total. The Burnley assistant has it, and 2 Watford staff members.
Yeah, it looks like it's all Watford, doesn't it? But no, listen.
And that's in the total. There's 2 Watford players and 1 Burnley assistant, and that's 3, and then another 3 from
But then
what's this now? Chadwick says at least. Yeah, that's true. They're all getting tested. Yeah, but they've got to be. At the end of the day, it's big business, isn't it? They have to be tested as much as we rather them get tested and they'll go out there and if they didn't get tested, will be worse, wouldn't it? So
yeah. We've got 3 Brighton players and all. 23 Brighton players have got it and all.
Yeah, but
that's 9.
Didn't they say 6 in total? No. Didn't they say the whole thing was 6 in total of the whole of all the people that were actually tested? That's all. I'm sure all the coaches, staff, and all that. It was just 6 people come back tested.
So they say.
I mean, that's what I thought anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't believe a word they say, lads. If I'm honest, I don't believe a word they say. It's all corrupt for me. Troy Deeney, do you know what? I totally agree. Listen, he's got a 5-month-old baby, right? And as a father,
I know the whole Arsenal staff. No one's got it in the Arsenal camp. That's come out. No one in the Arsenal camp has got it because they all they all isolated, didn't they? So no one now. They're all clear. I know, and I know in the Arsenal camp, the person has got it. So maybe they make it more clear. If I knew for clear what the clear message is it the whole lot? Is it just the players they're talking about? Is it the whole staff? 6 out of the whole staff, or what?
Go on, Diesel. What's your thoughts on this, mate?
I forgot what I was saying now. Troy Deeney. Look, he's got a 5-month-old baby, right? And obviously, you know, we're all fathers. If that was me and there was a 1% risk or a chance that I could catch it, bring it home, you know, and give it to my baby who's got, I think his baby's got breathing problems. Meaning, if we're totally honest, lads, meaning the likelihood is if the baby does catch it, I don't like those odds at all. Yeah, because obviously breathing problems, if you've got that, then blimey, you are vulnerable, right? But so I totally agree with it. I totally agree with him. You know, he's basic. I think what he's saying is anyone who wants to go out and play, that's your right. That's your, prerogative. Me personally, I ain't chancing it. No. Don't want to pay me, don't pay me. It's not about the money, it's about my family at home. Do you know what? As a father, as a fellow father, as a man, as a person, human being, I respect him. And what I like about Deeney is he's one of those, in my eyes, he's like the working, he's like the everyday working man in the Premier League, isn't he? He's that sort of, do you know what I'm saying? He's the kind of man who obviously is not afraid to speak out. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I think Diesel.
Sorry?
He says it as it is.
No, he does. Yeah, exactly. And I love people like that. So do you know what? No, you know, fair play to him. I can see there's a couple of comments in the chat room about his money, his pay. If I'm telling you, if he doesn't get, I don't think it'll bother him if you don't get paid. If I'm honest with you, his priority is his baby. End of. So,
yeah.
You know.
Listen, at the end of the day, I mean, people keep saying about obviously you shouldn't get paid. At the end of the day, would if it was the other way round and it was you and your baby was, you know what I mean, you could infect your baby because it's got bad breathing problems and you know what I mean. Who cares about money at the end of the day? Because I wouldn't care about money. My baby would come first. My baby and my family. So why?
I don't think Troy Dean is worried about his money.
Well, exactly.
I don't think Troy Dean is worried about his money, but Deanie shouldn't go home then. Get a place for himself and finish this. He'll be tested weekly. Sorry, he's been paid to play football. A bit harsh, Chadwick.
Do you know what, right? See, I've got to say, right? See, this is what I don't get, right? It's easy for people to say that.
Chadwick, you can't go home.
Yeah? I'm saying, put yourself in that position. If that was you and you had a 5-month-old, right, who's got breathing problems, what would you do? You know what I mean? Sometimes I think a lot of people, right, they make that mistake. It's very easy to come out and say, "Oh, you should be doing this," or "She should be doing that." Put the shoe on the other foot, right? It'd be a totally different scenario. Come on, guys.
Do you know what it is? It's a simple fact of the way the world is now, right? And it is, I'm never going to get it. My family's never going to get it. So what do we need to worry about it for? That's what it all comes down to. Because I want these footballers. I want these footballers that I pay my season ticket money to get out there and go and play for what I'm paying for. That's what it all comes down to nowadays. Do you know what I mean? No one's got any common sense anymore. Common sense has gone from the world, unfortunately for me. And this is what the problem is. This is what the problem is. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, unless it happens to you, and that was your child that was going through that, and you couldn't be up the hospital with them, do you know what I mean? Because of the virus and things like that, you're telling me that you're still going to go to work and get your money because they're paying you? I don't think so. Come on, you know what I mean? Look at it from that side.
I don't think he's worried. I don't think he's worried about missing a few months' wages anyway. I don't think that he'll be worried about that too much anyway. I think he'll be more worried about his health, the health of his young boy. And my thoughts are with him because at the end of the day, it's a player's choice. It's got to be the player's choice. It's not. I mean, it's not for the Premier League and all these big wigs to decide. You have to put your life at risk. Get lost, mate. Get lost.
Go on, Claude. I was just
sorry. I think my internet is.
No, that's all right.
No, it's not you. It's my internet. I think it's got Corona now. I think my internet's got Corona. I'm a man of Corona. Fuck you. No, I can't bloody. I'm not.
You need to get a test for it.
No.
Get a test for your laptop.
Yeah.
All right, Joe, makes me laugh. Right, all the people who say this, right, about these footballers, they should play. We pay to watch them play. They're the same people. If they cross paths with Troy Deeney in the street, right? They'd be saying, "Oh, Troy, I totally agree with you, right, for what you did. Yeah, well done. I'd have done the same." Do you know what I mean? People need to start practicing what they preach, and that's just a fact. It's a fact.
Yeah.
You know.
Chadwick's right. Chadwick's right in one way, but what I'm trying to say with Chadwick is that he has a choice. He doesn't have. I don't think he'll worry him if he didn't get paid. So, but it's up to him. Everyone's got their personals. If they don't want to play, they don't play, and that's simple as that.
Listen,
but anyway, I know where I can understand where Chadwick's coming.
I see a tweet earlier on from a nurse on Twitter, and she said, "I've just finished a 24-hour shift. I've just thrown all my PPE gear all away in a safe bag, which has got to be stored for 48 hours before you can even chuck it away because it's still got all the virus on. If she's got any virus on it, but all virus on the PPE in a black bag, you've got to store it for 48 hours before you can chuck it in an actual bin." She said, I've had to go home and get some shopping. I've just got in and now I'm going to go to bed. And when I got up, I see the pictures of Southend Beach yesterday. What's the point of me going to work?
Yeah.
Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah,
Gio, I think he must be Italian, this guy. I think he's Italian. I agree with Dini's decision, protect the children. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, listen, everyone's got their own opinion. I think I don't think Troy Deeney's worried about the money situation. Look, at the end of the day, he said it, didn't himself. If they don't pay me, they don't pay me. That's fine. It doesn't bother me. He's more worried about his kids. So it's not he's going to demand. It's not as if he's demanding to still get paid, even though he's not playing. So if he doesn't feel right for it, he doesn't feel right, and that's it.
It's
simple,
don't forget,
I mean,
don't forget, lads, as well. He's also recently lost a couple of family members as well, from what I read. Very recently,
right.
he's lost a couple. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's related to this COVID-19, but that alone plus the baby. I mean, sorry, I wouldn't risk it. Would you? I wouldn't. Sorry, we're talking about protecting your family, and then people talk about but hey, what about his pay? Why does money have to get brought into it all the time? We're talking about protecting your family and being a dad. We're talking about his salary.
Your health doesn't matter if you're earning $1 million or 100 quid a week. Your health is more important. Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Right. Before what we do is we'll move on to questions and answers now. For anyone in the chat that wants to ask a question, we'll answer them. But just before we do that, I just want to announce something we've got coming up Saturday. But first of all, if you go, please, everyone, go and sign up to OpMic. Go and download it from Google Play Store or Apple Play Store, and use that code CBS301, and then you become a member on OpMic to our channel on Claude and the Bansters. We're 2 away from 100, so that'd be great if we can get another 2 before the end of the show to make it 100. And once you've got it's all free. Once you've got the OpMic app and you've signed up to our channel, you'll be able to sync your app to your TV and listen to our commentary on live watch-alongs. So we tested it out last weekend, and it's really good. Everyone enjoyed it. So please go and download OpMic. And this Saturday, we can announce that we will be doing a live watch-along for the ITV 5 p.m. They're showing the extended highlights of the Liverpool-Arsenal game of the 89 when we beat them 2-0. So we're going to be doing a live watch-along, me, Diesel and Claude, of that game at 5 p.m. on Saturday. So everyone, please go and download the OpMic app, and you'll be able to get our commentary over the TV. So look out for that being advertised straight after the show. So let's have a look and see what people want to ask us.
Also, guys, sorry, there's 84 people watching and only 30 likes. As a promise to you guys, if we can get to at least 50 likes, I will get Claude to do the Obama Blood Clot Yang. As long as he's happy to do that, obviously, of course. because I know where you like watching that. Claude, have we got a deal? We got a deal, Claude?
He's smiling. He's smiling.
What's that?
He loves it.
Oh, not tonight. Another one.
Claude.
Jake said, I'm sure there is academy kids at Watford who would literally die for an opportunity to play for the first team. Sure, they would do it for free as well.
Yeah, that's at most clubs, isn't it? It's
right.
You know.
So what they say in the comments then? Let's have a look at the comments.
How you doing, mate? Hope you're well. He said, does Lacazette have a future at Arsenal after his latest mistake of getting eye on a balloon? Diesel.
Yeah, do you know what I've always said? I look, I like Lacazette. I think he's a good player. He's not world class like a lot of Arsenal fans think. He's not. If he went, I wouldn't cry about it. If I'm honest, I'd be very interested to see what the club do, because obviously we want to. Do you know what? It's funny because I was just thinking this right the other day. A lot of incidents that have happened recently, a lot of them are involving Arsenal players, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, sort of, Arsenal don't want that publicity or that bad press, right? And I'd like to see, because that's twice now Lacazette's been caught doing that, albeit it was a little snippet of him having the balloon, so he can easily come out and say it was just a normal balloon, or I was in my house, I didn't really
I'm not being funny. I'm not being funny, right? I'm not being funny. I mean, if he was scoring goals and doing brilliantly, right, he could blow as many balloons to fill up a kid's birthday party. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not worried. I think it's just because he's not playing well. That's why people are suddenly on his back about it. But it was done in private. How it would go out, I don't know. I mean, what he does in his privacy should stay with privacy and all that. It's not an illegal thing either, is it? It don't do them any good. It's not an illegal thing, is it? What they're doing?
No. Listen, for me, at the end of the day, right, there's so much more to worry about in this world than Lacazette doing a balloon. Why on earth a newspaper wanted to make that front news headlines, I do not know. With everything that's going on and how many people are dying, you know what I mean? Lacazette.
I'm not being funny. There's certain other players of other clubs have done worse and not even had a mention. So it's gets on my nerves. The whole thing gets on my nerves. Yeah. There's another super chat coming in there.
Yeah. I just want to quickly ask this question. Oh, go on. All right, you guys rock. Won the cheek. There was a good question here. Thank you very much. Won the cheek. Where's that question gone? Because that was a good one.
Oh, was it the Petit?
Yeah. Who was?
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's very nice. You guys rocked.
Colonel
Petit.
It was better.
They've all got different type of players, but they've all got different. Do you know the three of them? I'm gonna go for Edu. The three of them. If I had to be pushed, but they've all got quite different qualities, but all have done great work for us. All have been brilliant for us. Although I thought Petit didn't stay very long, did he? So,
for me, I'm going to go for Petit. I think Petit was fantastic alongside Vieira. Them two had a special understanding. When one went forward, the other dropped back, and vice versa. Both got a few goals at the same time when we needed them.
Yeah, towards the end, he was like a little baby, weren't he? Towards the end of his goal, I remember Villa Park, he was like a crybaby. I mean, towards the end of his contract, I didn't like the way he carried on, as if he just wanted to get out of the club. But I agree with you as a player. That's why I went off a bit there. But I do agree when he was at his best. In them couple of years, he was outstanding.
Yeah. What about you, Diesel?
Yeah, do you know what? It's a very good question, Colonel. If I had to pick one, I would say Petit, purely because obviously he had a bit of everything. He could do everything. What helped him as well was obviously being partnered with Vieira. Those two were just magical side by side. But I will say this. Gilberto and Edu were two, in my opinion, they were two very, very underrated players, right? And I would also like to add, they would piss over any midfielder we've currently got at this club. Fact. But Petit, for me, just edges
it. That ain't hard to do, is it, though? To be honest
exactly.
with you.
Mandeep has said, "Large yourself, lad. Always enjoy the show. Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate that."
Nice one. Is it me, or am I seeing loads of new people in the chat?
Yeah, there's loads of new ones today. Loads of new ones, and we really appreciate that. Lone Star Londoner put, "Is it just me? But when Claude laughs, I cannot help giggling." Melina, we're the same. Don't worry. Jake said, "Claude, what happened in the same old Arsenal quiz as the lost again?"
I did lose again, but he's phenomenal. The other guy was incredible. I mean,
who won it?
I think I might have to retire.
Yeah, Richard.
I was second. No, I did come second. He beat me by 6, but he was very good. The other guy, very, very good. He's very knowledgeable. You know, you can't win them all.
Claude, during that quiz, I noticed your internet was doing the madness, wasn't it? You couldn't hear the questions, could you? You couldn't hear the questions, could you? Because your Wi-Fi was doing the madness, wasn't it, during the quiz?
Yeah, that's another thing. After questions, I couldn't hear properly. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. Yeah. As soon as I get this sorted out, it'll be better.
Yeah, Wonder Cheek, thank you for your contribution. The best, Tony Adams or Stevie Bold? I think there's only one for me there, Claude, but who would you say?
Adams, but Bold was a good great defender as well. But Adams was more of a, I'll go for Tony Adams, yeah. But don't disrespect Steve Boulder because he was brilliant as well.
What about you, Diesel?
Any more questions? Sorry. Sorry, Diesel.
That's all right, mate. Get this, look. King James, I'm going to block you now, but before I do, could you stick a like on the video? Much appreciated. Yeah, so that's all right. As I was saying, let me just go back on that comment. Wonder Cheeks, thank you for the super chat, mate. Much appreciated. Tony Adams, obviously, I don't think you'll come across just one Arsenal fan who will pick Bold over Adams, but I totally agree with Claude and Tell. Tony Adams is the best centre half, in my opinion, we've ever had. But Bold, you have to give Bold his due. Bold was a top centre half as well, but Adams all day long. Yeah. And sorry, just quickly for this comment, CJ, hope you're well, mate. Much appreciated. Those 3 ladies, just so you know, they're not with me. I sent them packing and I sent them round to Claude's, so they should be on Claude's bed right now. Thank you.
What 3 ladies? I wish you would send them round.
Must get lost on the way, mate. I gave him your postcode.
The only ladies I can see is the ones on 901. Anyway.
Sounds like this, that'll do. Go on.
Gio's put in a super chat here. He said, Claude best Azuri defender. Is it Barasu, Maldini, or Nesta?
Oh, Franco Baresi. Franco Baresi was fantastic, mate. Yeah, but Maldini and Nesta were great. But Baresi, outstanding. Great, one of the great, all-time greats. Is our current back 4 the worst thing? Not so much the back 4. I'd even say the midfield doesn't help. I think the midfield's one of the worst we've had as well, which doesn't help. Sometimes if you haven't got a really poor midfield in front of you, it makes your back 4 look even worse. You know what I'm saying? But is it the worst in 50 years? It is for a long time. It has been for a long time. I remember Adams having a row with the ref at Millwall. I was there. Loved it. I was at that game, Alex. I was at that game. There was a hole in the away end, in the roof on the away end. What a piss hole that is. The old den. God, hell, snaps. Yeah, and when we come out of the ground, there was bottles from one end of Old Kent Road, flying on over to the other end of Old Kent Road. That's how bad it was then. Millwall is not. They're not the nicest of people when they're angry, especially after a defeat.
We've got Jason. He said, "How can Arsenal afford a marquee player that they need? Pepe is not even half paid for."
No, every player now, I think you'll find a lot of these players now. There's all in. How can you do what they say? Installments. So every player now, no one's playing straight cash. What's Chadwick coming in with another one here?
But why did Wenger in the last 10 years undervalue investment into the defence? He only spent money on attacking players. The fall of Arsenal for that.
Totally agree with that. Totally agree. And,
to be honest, I don't think it's just a lack of investment in the defence, because he didn't invest anything in the defence in my eyes. I mean, let's be honest. He
bought white players.
Yeah, but the only defender that he ever got that was fantastic in my eyes was Sol Campbell, and we got him on a free. We got him free. The worst thing that Wenger done for us, in my eyes, is that he never, ever, ever replaced a player like for like. So when we got rid of our great players like Van Persie, Fabregas, Sol Campbell, Vieira, Thierry Henry, Bergkamp, we never replaced like for like. He went for the cheap.
Where'd you going to get like for like with them players, though? To be honest with you,
I know he's saying, but I mean, at least sort of half the way to being them players. Claude.
Yeah, I do understand, but the quality.
Fergie never had a problem with that.
Quality, you have to pay a lot of money. Hey,
Fergie never had a problem with that. Listen, Arsene Wenger's right. The biggest insult for me, right, was breaking up the Invincible team. What was it? The season after. Right, what he should have done was bought another two or three top quality players, right, to obviously keep things fresh. And what they with a team like that, we should have dominated. But instead, he broke it up. He wanted to get these little players, slight technical ability. He was so obsessed with playing like Barcelona.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So obviously, But what I don't get is, for a man who's tasted success, right? I can understand if he's never tasted it, he's never won it. But for a man who's been there, done it, won the league, tasted it, the Invincible, how do you go from that to just settling for top four or mediocrity, or coming out saying top four is it's a trophy? I don't get that. When I look at Messi and Ronaldo, right? What I love about them is what drives them to be to want to be the best season in, season out. The Man United players have all said after training, Ronaldo, we'd all be going home. Ronaldo would stay for 3-4 hours.
In the past. And they don't look in the past. Ferguson.
But Claude, it was an obsession. It was an obsession with being the best.
I remember the great managers like Brian Clough. Sorry, because of my internet is the greatest manager, Brian, one of the greatest managers, said, forget the past. We look at the future. That's gone now. Let's go on to the next thing. Forget all that we've won. Let's go on to the next prize. We live too much. Our club lives too much in the past, and especially our fan base. By the way, guys, I'm gonna have to go off because I've got to do a couple of things, and I've got to go on to Robbie's. I do apologise to everyone, but I have to switch around today a bit. Take care, everyone in the chat. I'll speak to you soon. But you boys, can you take it on from there?
Yeah, nice one.
Nice one, Claude. Have a good time on it.
Speak to that, Claude.
I've got to be ready because he might give me a grilling and I've got to give it back, so I've got to be prepared. All right.
Let him know who the expert is, Claude. Don't forget that.
All right. Take care, boys.
Diesel, quickly. Lone Star London has put most expensive player in Arsenal history, 72 million for Pepe. How much more time does he need, and how much longer can we keep making excuses? The thing is, for me, Lone Star Londoner, is that, like Claude just said, we're probably paid instalments over 4 years for him. So if you divide that in 4, that's hardly anything a year. We've only had just over half a season. I mean, all right, we could possibly write this season off with Pepe because he hasn't done anything, but who's to know that for the next 3 years he ain't going to be a worldie?
Yeah. Do you know what? Right. I'd sometimes, right, and I thought this right the other day. Could you imagine if social media was about back in the day when Henry came and Bergkamp and players who didn't hit the ground running straight away? I'll never forget. Right, Thierry Henry is regarded by many as the best foreign import to ever grace the Premier League. Yet when he first arrived, Jermaine Pennant famously come out and said, "I've watched him in training. He's crap. I don't know why we bought him." That's coming from Jermaine Pennant, right? And all of a sudden, with time, and patience, Thierry Henry developed into one of the greatest, most skillful players I've ever seen, you've ever seen, Tel, and everyone in the chat. So and obviously Bergkamp was a genius. Don't forget, Bergkamp didn't score for was it first 19 games? If social media was around then, these players would be handed out. And it's the same with Pepe. He's a good player. We've seen enough to think there's something there. There's definitely a player in there. I think people need to remember as well, he's not been here for that long. He's already played under 3 different managers. I mean, come on, he's had no pre-season. He's come from abroad, and I've always said, judge players in the second season, because it's not just on the pitch, it's all the stuff off the pitch, accommodation, family, all that personal stuff that does play a part.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So he needs a pre-season, in my opinion, and he needs to play for a manager who's been with us for more than 5 minutes. But he will come good, in my opinion.
No, I totally agree with you, Diesel. We just got to, give him just a little bit more time. And this is my argument, which I can't understand, when our own fans are saying we need to cash in and sell Aubameyang now. We're talking about we paid £72 million for Pepe, who's done nothing for 6 or 7 months in the Premier League. We want to cash in on the best player that we've got at our club at the moment, because he's 31 years old, and then go out and get someone who might not hit the ground running and might not start until 8 months or 9 months down the line. I mean, where would that put us? Where would that put Arsenal? Let's be honest.
See, this is where me, you, and Claude disagreed, wasn't it? Because I said, and this is only if he doesn't sign till he doesn't want to be here, right? And obviously behind the scenes, I personally think he wants to go. I do, and in a way, I can't really blame him. He's was he 30, 31? He's not got a lot of time left, and obviously he wants that one big contract. It's not, for me, I don't think it's so much about the money with him. He wants to win something, and the likelihood of him staying here for the next 2 or 3 years and winning a league or a trophy, let's be honest, it's unlikely, right? So I get why he wants to go. What I don't get is, if he's not going to sign a contract, just come out and say, what's going on. We've been in a lockdown. If there was ever a perfect time for a player to sign a contract, I can't see why this would stop players signing. Why can't they still sign a contract? So if he doesn't sign it and he wants to go, then we need to sell him. I can't see another. I'll tell you what, right? Not so much you, but there's a lot of fans who are moaning, saying we should keep him for one more season and then let him go for free. But there'll be the same fans who, when he does eventually walk out for free, they'll be moaning, saying, "Oh, I can't believe we let another one of our top players go for free." You can't have it both ways. You know what I mean?
We've got a super chat here from Gio. He's put Diesel favourite kit, and how do you keep that fresh, baldy head?
Gio. Favourite kit, the Bruce Banana, mate. For me, I just love the colour. Hang on, was it favourite Arsenal kit? Favourite kit. Yeah, Bruce Banana. I have. I must admit, I love the Brazilian kit as well. I love the colour. So I've got that. And with regards to, I just use I use clippers, mate. Use clippers. I used to have curly hair, right? Believe it or not, but obviously I was going bald. I was receding, mate. I sort of like the McDonald's M. Do you know what I mean? And obviously I couldn't be in denial any longer. So
you taking the piss out of me, or what?
What's that?
You taking the piss out of me with the M there? Look.
No, honestly, mate, it was like an M. Do you know what I'm saying? And I used to like gel it and try and put it forward, but no, mate.
No word of a lie. My boy used to say to me, "Do I shave them bits in?"
Yeah.
Joseph put, Terry, would you keep David Luiz? I'm 24 today, getting old. Happy birthday, mate. Hope you well, I was going to say, I hope you enjoy it, but you know, you've got to be indoors, I'm afraid, and have a few drinks, Joseph. Would I keep David Luiz? I'd keep him as a squad player, mate. And that would be, he wouldn't be my main defender. He would only come in if and when there was an injury, and just to support the guys in the backroom staff, because I don't think he's good enough to be in our back four, me personally. I don't know about yourself, Diesel.
No, I agree, mate. I said I think you know if Arsenal keep him for one more year, then I'd probably agree with that. I don't look at David Luiz as part of the first team. You know, listen, we've got 8 centre halves, and that's another thing, Chel. That's another thing that we've not picked up yet. We have got 8 centre halves. You know,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Really, I'd say we need 4, 5 at a push, but blimey, 8, and we're still banging on saying we need a top class centre back. That just says it all, doesn't it? You know,
you say we don't need 8, and I do agree with you normally. But how many times have they been injured this season?
Yeah, and knowing Arsenal, we sell shit and we replace shit with shit, don't we? So
exactly, mate. We've got Seamus in the house. How you doing, Seamus? Hope you're good, mate. He's put clubs are announcing losses, so might not be much business done with any club. I totally agree with you, mate. It's going to be hard to see that, mate. Should support Oxford as they were Yedda Diesel. Haha. I
tried, Annie. I tried. They wouldn't have me.
I see someone put what's up, Mike. I can't remember who it was, so I'm just going to quickly go through that again. Op Mike is a new platform that we're going to be using. We will still be using YouTube, but we'll be going live out on Op Mike simultaneously. If you go to the Apple Play Store or Google Play Store, download the app Op Mike and use our code CBS301. That will get you hooked up to our channel on Op Mike. It's all completely free. Don't have to pay anything. And then once you've got the app, you can then hook your app up to your TV. All you need to do is turn the volume up on when we do a live watch along, and then sync your app to the TV, and you'll be able to listen to mine, Diesel, and Claude, and whatever other guests we've got on as commentary over the game, instead of boring old Steve McManaman, Michael Owen, Alan Shearer, Gary Lineker, whoever else you want to throw in the mix there. Do you know what I mean? So you'll be able to listen to us. And this Saturday at 5 o'clock on ITV, we have got the extended highlights of the Arsenal-Liverpool game back in '89, when Alan Smith scored just after the second half, and then that Michael Thomas charging through the midfield. We'll be doing all that commentary through Op Mic and YouTube. You don't have to have the Op Mic, but it'd be so much better if you go download the Op Mic, because you can listen to our commentary. So Saturday at 5 p.m, we'll be going live, doing a live watch along, and you'll be able to listen to our commentary via the Op Mic. So come on, everyone, go download it and listen to our commentary on Saturday. Me, Diesel, and Claude will be doing it. So Op Mic is like YouTube. Yes, it is. But like I said, Op Mic, you can sync it with your TV and you can listen to our commentary as a live watch along. And you can even tells you to pause it if you're in front of us. And then you can go live at the same time and we can all be synced together. So it's a great app. Everyone go download it. And then while you're there, once you put our code in CBS301 and you're signing up to Op Mic, everyone go over and give Anfield Agenda a follow. Craig and Connor, great guys. They've helped us out a lot, getting things ready, and they're really good guys. And we'll be getting them on a lot more. So everyone go give them a follow and all. Joseph, thank you for your contribution. He put Terry, you commentating, calling Saka rubbish. Laugh out loud. I won't be just calling him rubbish, mate, and he won't be in the '89 game at the moment. That's a little bit beyond him, but when it comes to football coming back on, mate, I'll be calling him a lot more than that. Don't worry about
that. Go on,
Phil. Tom D, this setup is much better, guys, with you two and Claude. Also, Kenny and Glenn are good additions. Thank you very much, Tom. Really appreciate that. Sam,
that's a great comment, that, because yeah, honestly, do you know what? I think that sorry, Till. I think that ties in quite nicely to obviously what Terry, myself, and Claude were talking about off camera, and it was we always literally, you know, we're always praising you guys in the chat room, because when we were newbies, you know, when we joined Claude, we didn't quite, if I'm honest, we didn't quite know how we be, you know, perceived, whether you guys would look like watching us, or whether we'd get trolled, or whether we'd get abused, or whether we get comment, whatever it is. And obviously it's been a while now that we've been doing it, and we're really enjoying it, and we love talking to you guys. This is the reason why we won't ever really go down the pre-recorded route, because it takes away that interaction with you guys, and that's something that that's my favourite part of doing this, really.
Exactly.
As I'm sure it is Tells and Claude, you know. So yeah, Tom, much appreciated, and once again, guys, thank you for watching, and I mean that from the heart, genuinely mean that, hand on heart.
And not only that, we are working really hard behind the scenes to get a few things up and running, which will be announced in due course. But we've got some big things lined up, and hopefully you'll come along for the ride with us, everyone. Because so I must admit, since the start of this, when we've been with Claude and me and Diesel, I just want to say nothing but respect to all our regulars that come into the chat all the time, and big us up too. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you know, it's not all just about that, but you guys are giving us all a lot of love, and it's just much respect and much love, especially from us guys. What about yourself, Diesel?
Nah, listen, I'm blown away, Till. Listen, every time we do this, it's never scripted. You know, it's always been off the cuff, and you know, what I love especially is whenever we do this, I always see a new name, like Ollie. Never seen him before, but he's contributing with, you know, watching us, and obviously putting the comment in. Much appreciated. You know, it's just seeing. You know, do you know what? I've never met Melina, Omar, Seamus, you know, Lone Star Londoner, but I feel like I know you guys, man. It's mad. But, you know, I mean, like, real talk, I really do. So yeah, listen, we're humble guys. It's as simple as that. You know, no matter how big we get, should we ever get bigger than this, you know, we're still going to remain humble. We're not going to be arseholes, like some are out there. You know, so yeah, thank you. So, like I say, thank you. I'll keep saying it every stream.
I just want to shout these out because on our Monday night show, Review the Premier League, we will be having one of their boys on, and it's Newcastle Fan TV. How you doing, boys? I hope you're well. We're going to be having Lee from Newcastle Fan TV. He'll be coming on a Monday night show, and he's put, how does it feel you will be smaller club than us soon? See you lads on Monday show. That's the kind of feeling.
Lee, I'll see you on Monday.
You set yourself up now, mate. You set yourself up. No. It'd be good to have you on, mate. We're really looking forward to it. We've got Sam Chippick from Tottenham. That is his name, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Nice guy, Sam. Yep.
Yeah, we've got Sam on, who's a Tottenham fan too, and we will probably be having a Chelsea fan on, but we will be advertising that later on or tomorrow, that one. So everyone look out for that. Let's see what else we've got here. Jake has put, when football's back, just an idea, maybe a match day vlog for a video, just as an idea for the channel. Jake, we accept all ideas. We accept all ideas, and that's a great shout, mate. That is a great shout, and we'll keep that in mind.
Idea. Very good idea. Yeah, very good idea.
Yeah, actually, NHS. Yes. What's the time? 8 o'clock. Everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, the fireworks.
Yeah, I can hear the fireworks now. We're just doing a bit of shouting.
I just want to quickly say to everyone who's clapping right now for the NHS and have been breaking lockdown rules over the past few weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Had to be said, sorry. Yeah. And do you know what? Not just the NHS, the supermarket workers as well. Exactly. So I don't ever get mentioned, Till, to be honest with you, mate.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly.
Fair play to them and all.
Lone Star Londoner, clapping from Austin, Texas. Thank you very much, mate.
Is that where you are, mate? Austin, yeah? Nice
I
one.
thought you was in London, obviously going by your name.
Yeah. That's the deep south, mate. I'm telling you.
That's it. Well done. Thank you very much for everyone clapping along to the NHS. Sam's put Premier League teams will be running scared, seeing Anthony, Martial, Bruno Fernandes, Fred, Paul, Labili.
That's his middle name, isn't it? Yeah.
Pogba. Don't even mention his name, Sam. That's where you went wrong straight away. I was a little bit impressed then, but then you put Pogba into it, and now you fucked it all up, mate. Unfortunately, so I'm going to carry on. Pogba, honestly, in my eyes, and I'm not just saying this, is one of the worst players I've ever seen. I've not seen, apart from France, I've not seen him play a good game. And if he does, he has a one-off game. And I can't understand why people think he's world class and Özil ain't. Özil is such a much better world class player, and he's won more stuff than fucking Pogba. I'm sorry, mate. He has. Honestly, mate, I don't see what people see in Pogba whatsoever, apart from a sulky, stroppy, lanky person. That's all he is. Who likes to do clapping and silly videos with what was his name, the striker that was there with them before they sold him.
Lukaku.
That's all. That was the best thing that he done. Was the little videos on Instagram with Lukaku. Didn't do anything else in my eyes. That's just my own opinion, by the way.
Yeah.
Olivia's put Pogba plays so well for France, but doesn't look the same player for Man U. Thank you. Someone else agrees. Danny says, new year, I'm Spurs fan, enjoy the show, starting watching after the UFC. Dan, thank you very much.
Nice one, Dan.
We might not see eye to eye on teams, you know what I mean? And you may be in our shadow, but we accept anyone here, mate. No, mate, joking. No, thanks very much for coming over, mate, and then kind words. Appreciate that. Gio, thank you for your contribution again. He's put the only reason he is good at France, one word, Kante. I totally agree with that too. We sort of touched on this a bit earlier, but we'll go again. He said, is that
Maurice?
Sorry if we got that wrong or pronounced it wrong, mate. He said, would you take Thomas Lemar? Diesel?
No. He's a good player, but we don't need him. I want players that we need rather than want. Yeah, so build from the back, George Graham style. Build the defence. More importantly, for me, the midfield is in need of the most surgery. A defensive midfield. But you know what? Instead of talking about Lemar, Arsenal go and get Partey, because honestly, I genuinely think we could get him. And I think he would. I think he wants to come, but we differ too much, and someone would, swoop in last minute and get him, and it's another one we would have lost. But Partey, we don't need Lemar Till. We don't need him.
No. Exactly. I totally agree. I don't think we need him. Well, I mean, 2-3 years ago, then not a problem. That was before we had Pepe and Martinelli. You know what I mean? Saka wouldn't have been coming through then, but 2 years ago, I would have said but not now. We've got too many of the same sort of players. We need, like I said, a centre midfielder and a central defender in my eyes. Chadwick said, do you guys like any other clubs other than Arsenal? For me personally, I do like, I always watch out for London clubs. Not saying that, you know what I mean, I really like, but I always look out for Millwall, West Ham, Leyton Orient, you know what I mean? I always look out for them. Don't look out for Tottenham. Don't look out for Chelsea. No, I'm joking. But I always look out for teams, to be honest.
I'm not.
What about you, Deagle?
Yeah, I've got two. I've got two clubs that I've got a soft spot for. First one being West Ham. Purely a number of reasons, really. A lot of my family are West Ham, and I'm very local to West Ham as well. And I've just I've been to when they were Upton Park, and it was one of the best atmospheres in the stadium I've seen. West Ham for me, I've got a soft spot for them, and also Barcelona. I love Barcelona. I love their kit. I love everything about them. I like their kit. I love I love what they do for UNICEF. They do a lot for UNICEF. They're just a very traditional, classy club. I've watched various videos on YouTube about their youth system. I forgot the name now. La Masia. I just like the way they do it over there, Tel. I like the way that, you know, little boys of 8 or 9 are, you know, the way that they play with the ball, you know, the way that they're taught to, you know, treat the ball as your best friend. You know, they're learning things at 9 or 10 that players in this country of that age, you know, they're not learning those ball skills until they're 15, 16. It's mind blowing. It's absolutely mind blowing. So, yeah, Barcelona and West Ham for me.
Yeah. No, I mean, West Ham are definitely one that I do look out for. Unfortunately, my wife is a West Ham supporter, and you know, most of my family are West Ham supporters, so I've got a little soft spot for them. But like I said, I look out for most London teams. Tom's D said, "Don't we need to get some good money for Aubameyang and Lacazette, like Liverpool did with Coutinho and Suarez? Then we can use that money on defence and midfield." Look, at the end of the day, it's a good point, but will we spend it on a defender, defensive midfielder, and a central defender? We'll probably go out and buy another winner. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't even sell Lacazette. I would, as I said, I'd go for a straight swap with Partey if they go for that. So then there's no money involved there. And for how much you're going to go out and buy another striker, like we were saying earlier on with Henry and Bergkamp and Perez and all that we need to go and buy a like-for-like striker. How much is that striker going to cost us to be exactly as good as Aubameyang next season? We're going to spend at least 100 million. So I'd rather save that 100 million, give Aubameyang a big signing-on fee and another 3-year contract.
Do you know what though, right? I was just thinking this, yeah. There's a lot of Arsenal fans who are basically saying, if we lose both Lacazette and Aubameyang in the I had to, sorry. No, all joking aside, right? If we Arsenal can't afford to lose both of them, because if we do, then obviously we're just going to sink down the table. But then on the flip side, Till, would you look at it and think, if you look at the clubs at the moment who are above us, Sheffield United, Wolves, Leicester, yeah, those sort of clubs where they're higher than us, scored more goals than us, but they got strikers who aren't as good as Aubameyang and Lacazette. So would you look at that and think, is it really the end of the world, right? If for whatever reason they both went, because I look at, you know, bigger and better players have left this club. We haven't, you know, we're still here, and I think this whole thing about to replace a striker of Aubameyang's quality is going to cost upwards of 100 million. You know, you can't tell me there ain't players out there for a quarter of that who are just hidden gems who could come in and tear it up or do something. You know, I think the foundation of a team is more important for me than having a crap defence, crap midfield, but a banger up front. I'd rather have a striker who's not as good as Aubameyang, won't score as many goals, but when he turns around behind him, he's got a top defence, he's got a strong midfield. Do you know what I'm saying? I'd rather have that if I had to pick one. You know, because Aubameyang could score 30 goals this season, we're still 9th.
Yeah, no, I do get that, but without them, we're getting relegated, and we'll be doing a Watford, and you know, what I mean, trying to do everything to get out of this this situation at the moment to not be relegated. Just quickly, we've got the blind Gooner in. Daniel, how you doing, mate? Hope you're well. He says, "Hi guys, hope you're well. We're all good, thanks. Hope you're good.
Hope you're well, Dan. You all right, mate? Oh, hang on. No, he's got a nickname now. Danny the dog.
Danny?
I don't know if you see that. Whenever I do a stream with Daniel, I always hear a woman's voice in the background, right? And it's not his wife, right? So I reckon Daniel's obviously he's got his little side piece behind him. Hence why I call him Danny the dog. And it's always a different girl's voice as well. The man's a legend. Go on, Danny. Yeah. Danny Dog.
Sam
Love
said
you,
Eddie
man.
Howe should replace David Moyes at West Ham because he would do a better job than David Moyes. Sam, I'd agree with you. If I was a West Ham fan, I'd be well happy with that to get Eddie Howe in as my manager. Don't know about yourself, Diesel.
So I don't think David Moyes is that bad, mate. If I'm honest with you, he's not that bad a manager. If you look at the first time round when he was at West Ham, I thought he did all right. And then obviously he didn't get the job because obviously West Ham thought the grass was greener on the other side, and obviously clearly it wasn't. You know, there's a reason why they got the man back. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, I think they realised actually he weren't that bad. You know, compared to I mean, he was going in the right direction. He just needs time. But I think Allardyce even said it. You know, if his name was Aladicio or whatever, if he was a foreign manager, then obviously he'd be a lot more appreciated. And I think as fans in this country, we are kind of like that. You know, we do have that sort of thing, and I'd like to see more English managers in the game, if I'm honest. The thing is, will they be given a chance? Because I rate Sean Dyche. I think he's a good manager. Chris Wilder, I like him. Albeit it's been, one season. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but you look at what that man's done. And when Emery went, I actually mentioned, you know what? He wouldn't be a bad shout because that sort of character is something I think this club needs. Someone like no nonsense manager who's going to come in and literally shake the club, right? And you look at Chris Wilder and the way he talks about his players, the way he, that pundit said to him, well done to your players. They worked really hard today. And Chris Wilder was like, yeah, but I'm not going to praise them for that. That's a given. That's what they should be doing. I've not heard any other manager come out and say that, and I thought, you know what, that was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, because he's right.
Yeah.
So, but will he? That's what I'm saying. Tell the Chris Wilders, the Sean Dyches, will they get a shot at the big clubs? No, they'll probably get like with all due respect, like an Everton, that sort of level. You know what I mean? It's like a top 9. Any team in the top 9, although saying that, look at where we are at the moment, But, yeah, that's what I'd say, mate.
Chadwick Moffitt's put, what was the best atmosphere at a live game you watched at the Emirates? There's been a couple, to be honest, for me, mate. But the one that stands out was the 4-2 victory over Tottenham last year. We was losing, and we come back, and what a second half. It was absolutely fantastic. And the atmosphere in the stadium was electric that day, absolutely electric. And the other one was probably the first game of the season. Do you remember when we played Leicester and Lacazette scored the opener on his debut? And I think it ended up 4-4. What a game on a Monday night. It was a Friday night start.
Friday night, wasn't it?
Yeah, Friday night start.
Yeah, I think it was a Friday night.
Yeah,
that was brilliant. Listen, any derby is any Arsenal Tottenham. Joe, because obviously the Emirates, and I'm a Highbury man, always will be. I prefer Highbury to the Emirates all day long. The Emirates isn't that noisy, in my opinion. I think the atmosphere is not the greatest, but there are certain games where the atmosphere really comes to life, and that will always be Arsenal Tottenham. But I love the atmosphere. Do you remember when we played Man United? We beat them 3-0.
Yeah.
The atmosphere that day was absolutely brilliant as well. And yeah, there's been loads over the years. I just think if under Wenger, not so much in his last sort of couple of years, but prior to that, when we had Fabregas, Adebayor, those sort of players, we knew then, we knew how to kill teams off, and it was always a case of we'd always sort of score the first goal within the first 10-15 minutes. And when we done that, we sort of all knew what was coming. We were going to wallop them 4-5-0. And a lot of teams we did that to. It was just free flowing champagne football, and there's nothing better than going to a football match and coming away thinking, do you know what? It was a lot of money, but I got my money's worth.
Yeah.
So
you couldn't beat Highbury, mate. Highbury was fantastic. I used to love Highbury. I used to love it. I used to be there every weekend as a kid with my dad. Well, every other weekend whenever we was at home. And it was just absolutely phenomenal atmosphere. Yeah. You know what I mean? Brilliant. Such a family atmosphere and all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember like my dad taking me, right? Because I did a tour I did a tour of the of Highbury, and we went into the showers, and there was a player who was actually having a shower who was caught in there, right? And we was quickly ushered out, and you know that was Steve Bold.
All right.
I don't know if he remembers that, but yeah, he's and when we was outside, George Graham came out as we was just about to go, and me being a bit of a fanboy because I love George Graham. I love the man, loved him. You know, when you see him, you can't help but think, oh my god,
Yeah.
you know. And do you know what? He come over. It looked like he was in a rush, but he still come over. He said hello. He asked me what my name was. He spoke to me dad who was with me. He signed a thing that I had, a program. He didn't have to do it. You know, he didn't just come over, sign. You know, like how they are now. If they sign something, you know, you're lucky, right? You know, people who chant their name, I just see these players just walk past, don't even look at you, right? And it sickens me. It really winds me up. But back then it was a bit more, you know, friendly. You know, they had time for the fans.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? You know.
Right. We're going for an hour and 15 minutes, people. So I'll give it another 5 more minutes because I am absolutely sweltering in this room. I need to get out and get some air and get a drink and that. So we'll give it another 5 more minutes.
And I need a fag. I need a fag.
Yeah, I think. Oh, I'm sweating. But yeah, so we've got 5 more minutes. Just quickly, I just want to shout out again. Anyone that hasn't got Hot Mic, go download it now. What are you waiting for? Go download it now from the Apple App Store, Google Play Store. Once you've downloaded it, sign up with our code. It's all free. Doesn't cost you anything. CBS 301. Put that in, sign up to us. That gets you onto our channel, and you'll be able to get all notifications when we're going live through Hot Mic. And what you can do with Hot Mic is you can sync your app up to the TV when we're doing live watch-alongs, especially when the Premiership back. We can't wait. When the Premiership's back, you can listen to our commentary rather than boring old Steve McManaman, Michael Owen, Gareth Bale, whoever's on there. Do you know what I mean? Whoever's on there, they're boring. Come and listen to us. So go download the app, put the CBS 301 in, and then that will walk you up to our channel. And then while you're on there, also go and give Anfield Agenda a follow. Craig and Connor, really nice guys, Liverpool supporters, but they've really helped us out and helped us get onto it. So everyone, please go and do that. And whatever you do, when you do it, you know what I mean, just like our videos, and the more you like, the more you share, the more that we can do more with our channel. So that will really help us out. Marco, go on, Diesel.
Yeah, Cheddars. Marco Silva managed to get the Everton job in 2 seasons. Tony Pulis gets Stoke to the Europa League and FA Cup final, and he gets nothing. Yeah, just totally backs up what I've been saying, Cheddars, mate. They don't get a chance. You know, and do you know what, Tony Pulis, I love those old school managers. You know, I call them tracksuit managers, right? You know, like the old school. You know, now it's all head coaches, and a manager was a manager who ran everything, right? And Tony Pulis is one of those no nonsense managers. I love those type of managers. You know, any player who falls out of line, you know, that manager's dealing with you, and he will deal with you. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them. Yeah. Again, he's a good manager, but they don't get a chance to.
Listen, you don't get no old school and no better other manager that gives it to you straight, like your Brian Cloughs, your Terry Venables, your Georgia Grahams, and the best one that I loved was Barry Fry. Barry Fry for me was unbelievable. I remember, right, he was manager of Barnet, and it was on Sky Sports. I think it was when Sky Sports just come about then, do you know what I mean? Yeah. It was just starting up. And Bobby Robson, like Seamus said, yep, you're right, mate. And I think Barnet got stuffed 7-0. All right, they got stuffed 7-0. I remember it vividly. And the reporter's gone running up to Barry Fry, you know what I mean, running down the line. And he's walking to him while he's walking to the dressing room. And he went, Barry. He said, what did you think of the game? What's your thoughts? He went, excuse me, mate, I haven't got fucking time to talk to you right now because I'm going in the dressing room and I'm going to give these boys a rollicking. See you later. And that was exactly.
Oh, I love it.
It was brilliant, mate. Absolute class. Do you know what I mean? He reminded me, let's be honest, he reminded me a bit of Del Boy out of Only Fools and Horses. Do you know what I mean? That little sort of he had, do you know what I mean? And he was the same height. He was just brilliant for me, mate.
And there you go, Fools and Horses, mate. In my opinion, the best thing ever to grace the TV. Exactly. But yeah, mate, no, listen, I totally agree. I like Neil Warnock as well. I think he's a good manager. You know, there are some I would have liked to have seen them at top clubs just to see, you know, if they had the money, you know, and they had the top club, all the prestige. I'd like to see what they could do because I think some of them could really, you know, go a long way.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Danny said, any more UFC watching? Listen, Dan, I love the UFC, so if I'm available, I will always do it as long as there's people that wants me to do it and will come on and watch us, mate. I've got no problem with that. I love it, and hopefully, Conor McGregor, my favourite fighter at the moment, will be fighting in the next UFC. Just quickly, the last one I want to go on, and it's nothing to do with the chat, but what I've seen today, Diesel, what's your thoughts? And everyone, let me know who you think would win, right? Who you think would win today? Robbie Williams, former Take That in the group, Take That, and great sinner, has offered that Liam Gallagher in a charity boxing match. He's come out and said that he always basically used to pick on him like that school bully from a racist. You know what I mean, he's one of them people like a school bully, but won't take up the fight and all things like that. So Robbie Williams said that he wants to fight the 24-year-old Liam. That's how much passion he's got on fighting him still. So what do you think of that, Diesel? And who do you think you'd win?
Right, first of all, I love Robbie Williams. Love him. I love his music. It's not so much his voice because he's not the best singer, but he's got stage presence. I know I love that, right? Yeah. I've seen him live, and blimey, does he put a show on? But I think Liam would piss all over himself. Come on. You know what I'm saying? He would. He'd piss all over him, mate. I know who I'd put my money on, mate, and it's Liam. So,
do you know what? Is it just me, right? Or do I get visions now? Just if I shut my eyes and vision it, I'll just get visions of Liam just fucking getting rid of the gloves and headbutting him.
Yeah, I don't think it's one that would last long. I think Liam would just get in there and just go to work. You know, so yeah, that's. You look at Liam and you know, he looks like a geezer who can handle himself. Do you know what I mean? I don't see that right when I look at Robbie Williams. You know what I'm saying? You know, I see a pretty boy who obviously loves the ladies. Liam's a bit more, you know, sod all that. Let's have it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think. I think Liam all day long.
Diesel, what the people in the chat want to know is live watch along. Will it happen?
Oh mate, if that happens, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it.
All day long.
We'll cover that.
I think we might even take bets. That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? And all take bets on it.
Yeah, why not? Why not? And this is what I'm saying. You know, this is when we talk about obviously, you know, the interaction with the chat room. You know, the guys here. Also, guys, if there's any ideas that you'd like us to do or whatever, you know, chuck them in. You know, and obviously we'll see what we can do. Any content you want us to obviously cover or talk about. Doesn't always have to be football, I suppose. You know what I mean? It could be anything. You know,
just let us know.
Yeah, it's your channel as much as ours.
Exactly.
You know,
I'm going to call it a day, Diesel, because I'm literally dripping, mate.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I've just watched. Sorry, mate. Just very quickly. I don't know if you've seen it, Till. What's it called? I've just literally just watched it. Keanu Reeves, Wick. What's it?
Wickham. I haven't seen it, but I know what you're.
Someone in the chat, help me in the chat. Help me. Something Wick. I've literally just watched it. Brilliant.
I can't think of what it's called. I know what you're on about. I know what it's called, but it's good, yeah.
Very good, yeah. Any minute now, someone's going to put in the chat room what it is. That's it, Seamus. My guy. John Wick. Thank you, Seamus. Top man. Literally, yeah, I've never seen it, right? I've just watched it because everyone was saying, oh, it's a really good film. It was brilliant, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Keanu Reeves just plays it to a T. And I think there's a second one, so I'm going to try and find that now. So, yeah, that's my night lined up. I think there's the third one, so I'm going to watch that after. That's my night lined up.
The challenge. Watch the challenge. I keep telling you to watch it, Diesel, and you ain't watched it yet.
Oh, yeah. There's so much to watch.
It's on MTV. You got Bear in it and Rogan, and you got like a load of reality star TV people in it. If you haven't seen it, but what they have to do challenges. and to make themselves go into the final. And it's so good. But you get all the bickering in the ass. You get all people plotting behind people's backs and things like that. It's really good. If you haven't seen it, go give it a watch. Fantastic. But now, Cheddar's boxing. We are doing boxing, mate, but there's no boxing to talk about at the moment, or no live watch-alongs. But we will be doing that when it comes out, mate. Curtis Shaw's in the house. How you doing, mate? I'm still watching Money Heist. I've heard about that. That's good. Simpy, big up to you. Thanks, mate. But for now, we're going to call it a day. Like I said, on Saturday, we might be back tomorrow. Don't know yet. Watch it. Watch your space. Hit the notification bell on YouTube, and you'll get notified as soon as we upload or advertise the channel. But don't forget, Saturday, 5 p.m. ITV. We'll be doing the live watch-along of the Arsenal-Liverpool 89 game. It's extended highlights. And if you download the Yacht Mic with code CBS301, you'll be able to listen to our commentary. Diesel, you wanted to quickly say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, because obviously Claude's not here, for a laugh, should we both do the sign-off together? So if we count to 3, and then we both scream it top of our voices.
Exactly. We'll go for it. Yeah.
Sod it, why not?
You ready, then?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, go.
It's time
to go! Stay safe, everyone. See you soon.
Cheers, guys. Love you all.